Hello everyone and welcome to Splatter, which is a beat 'em up I've had my eye on for quite some time. It is horror themed, as you might be able to tell immediately. We're good with red blood color. I feel like that's in the spirit of murdering lots of people, as you actually should have to look at their red blood. Let's take a look at the story. Quite the intro, something of a fairy tale, really. And I am a sucker for fairy tales. I love wizards, I love dark magic, I love the idea of a reanimated, or I suppose for the first time animated Scarecrow, feeling indebted to this old couple who'd taken care of him. And you know, it is rather realistic that even if your land is taken over by monsters, you're not necessarily going to just leave. Let's see, what have we got? We've got punch and kick. Those are both the same button. What's triangle do? Oh, I can mix punches into a triangle combo, it seems. Let me see if I can do that again. Hello. These are sort of abstract monsters, these guys. Not that I'm complaining about that, certainly not. Let's see, what else have we got? Oh. Okay, so I can cut the music entirely to slice people in half. Like that. So I'll assume that's why it's called Splatter is because it's a big deal that we can turn our arm into chainsaws like that. It seems like our moveset is fairly limited, but I did find that one uppercut that I'm not quite sure how I used previously. Oh. It appears that I've activated some kind of prolonged chainsaw state. I certainly didn't mean to. That's the fun in playing a new beat 'em up for the first time. Well, I didn't need to know that the gas tanks refilled my gas meter. I think I could have figured that one out by myself. But otherwise, you know, discovering new mechanics and such is quite enjoyable. It appears that these guys dive at you, which is their most threatening move. Alright, it's good to know that that slashing through 3 or more enemies, it looks like, activates some sort of extra powerful state for me. But yeah, I think it's fairly clear why I was interested in this game. It's got that sort of definitely horror themed, but also fairy tale opening to it. It's got an immediately approachable premise, like a dark wizard's messing up these old folks' land, and we got to retake the village for their sake. Humble beginnings, an altruistic protagonist who only wants good for those around him. It's quite immediately appealing. I still haven't figured out how I did that uppercut. I am hurting myself trying to figure it out, though. But that's alright. This is part of the learning process. It seems like jumping is going to be a major maneuverability option, because there's no dodge or any such thing. Just like in the old beat 'em ups, of course. You a mini-boss? I'll assume so. I will pound on you as a mini-boss, then. I will not be holding back. I think that's reasonable. Let me know if you want to, like, not fight, though. There are better things to do with a tractor than strafe. Like farm. So far, the frog enemy type definitely seems to be the most threatening. Though these guys can charge, from what I remember, it seems like running around them in a circle isn't a big... makes them not such a big deal. Alright, let's see if I can get in here and... There we go. Yeah, it seems like 3 or more is what does that. They're also already starting to introduce enemies in much more quantity. Which, you know, I enjoy when games are quick on the uptake. This seems like a very, very traditional style game, so it probably can't afford to waste too much of your time early on. Like, it wants to make sure that all of its design counts. It doesn't want to waste any enemy encounters on anything excessively trivial. I probably could have prevented that by smacking that guy a bit earlier. I'm not sure what these are. I think they might be like mutant chickens or some such. But yeah, I definitely get the impression that the jump is the primary evasive maneuver. Also seems to be a good opener. Oh. Oh, a cutscene. I wasn't expecting a cutscene. Oop. I wasn't paying attention. I was taking a sip of tea. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Crow Guy. Can I hit him from behind? Let's see. Shockwave, very underwhelming. Not a hugely threatening shockwave. Does he punish? Like, if I just wail on him, will he prevent me from doing that repeatedly? It seems like he can swing with his feathers, but I don't know if that's just because I stopped hitting him, or if he would already have been swinging. How many times can I hit him? It seems like I can just go. It doesn't seem like he has a counter to this. Which, to be fair, I guess he is the first boss. You get in close, you wail on him. Maybe it's teaching you aggressive tactics. Like, maybe the lesson there is that you should be aggressive in combat in general. Love the world map. Oh, and our health refilled. Still not sure how I did that uppercut. Yep, 3 or more. Got it. Just confirming again. It seems like you enter the chainsaw state and then press the same buttons to leave it as you did to enter it. What's this? From what I recall about this game, there is an alternate ending that... Oh, that's a manhole. There is an alternate ending that you get through defeating one of the bosses in a certain way, but it's been so long since I've read about this game, I certainly don't recall what that is. Oh. That's very Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That actually brings back memories. That car running me over. Makes me want to play Hyperstone Heist, kinda. Hyperstone Heist being the Genesis TMNT game. Something I really like about these old beat-em-ups is that it may seem like your attacks are fairly underwhelming. But it's just about understanding the hitboxes and spacing is all. Yeah, I can put away the chainsaws immediately. That's good to know. I wonder how far Jagod's reign has gone. Like, it sounded like he was maybe just concerned with taking over that one village, but clearly not. Unless this is an extension of that village. If so, it's pretty large. And the old couple that owned the largest property seemed to be a farmhouse. Maybe that was all their land back there. Like, this could all be one. This whole game could take place in one village. And that property was... Oh, it's an actual shop. I'm kind of surprised. It's an actual shop. Hello, you're not really what I expected to see. I don't mean to be rude. You're just not what I expected to see in here. While jumping, I can jump again. A very dangerous mask. Is that something I need for the true ending? I'm not sure. The double jump is something we're really close to affording. No, we're just saving up. I guess maybe you could say that makes us a cheapskate. If you wanted. I just wanna use my funds optimally is all. And it seems like a double jump would be a really good addition, especially during boss battles, so I apologize. I know that's not good for your business necessarily. The platforming is actually was quite scary there. Like, it is a little bit frightening. You do have a platform shadow, but the jumping is not something I've used to actually platform yet, so I think it's understandable I'd be a bit scared. I think I got the hang of it. Do I gotta fight these guys? Okay, yes. You gotta be able, when you're playing beat 'em ups, to walk into a room and immediately identify every threat. I'm sure a double jump would have come in handy for these fellas as well. Yeah, okay, yeah. It seems like beating them up with the chainsaw makes them drop money. So that might be something we'll be doing more, because I've been using the chainsaw very sparingly, more or less. Oh. Well, at least it didn't cost us a whole life, as I expected it would. I definitely thought that would just straight up kill us, because that's usually what it does in beat. Oh, the shop's gone. I'm actually kind of surprised that they let you go back, but the shop just disappears. That's kind of a neat way to do it. Like, I like the idea that it's this traveling, bizarre curio shop full of unwanted horrors that we just come across. Oh, I made it out. Using some sort of Looney Tunes logic, it would seem. I certainly shouldn't have survived that, or that, or this. That time it did get me. That trash can is surrounded on all sides by a pretty impenetrable pit. Boss time already? Alright, let me take a sip of my tea. Alright, I'm ready. What do you got for me? Throw them at me. The third hit of the combo being a big kick is actually quite nice. Okay, do I like... Do I jump and hit you? Do I hit this? It's probably a puzzle boss, if I had to guess. It would seem to suggest to me that the idea is to hit that sign, because the sign is the most interesting thing in the environment for sure. What if I, like... No, does that not do it? Let's see... Oh, can I hit these? That seems... Maybe that did something? There we go. Okay, you just punch him back. I kind of thought if those landed on me, it would hurt me, but I can just punch him out of the air, it seems like. Not a particularly threatening boss now that I know that. Granted, I still have to actually hit them. Which, in spite of their shadow, is a little more difficult than you might figure. That seems very advanced for an animatronic. Like, usually there's not that many individual moving pieces. It doesn't look quite that horrifying. But maybe the animatronic gained all that additional anatomy when it was influenced by Jagod's dark magic. Yeah, that's probably new. The explosive burgers is one thing, but the laser, I'm going to say the laser is dark magic. I accidentally punched it clean off screen. That was quite comical. It's a very traditional... Oops. It's a very traditional gimmick-style boss battle. Like, you play an old beat-em-up, it's very regular to have a boss like this, where the enemy's just a bit off-screen. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. As I was saying, where the enemy's just a bit off-screen. And throwing some sort of projectile that you have to smack back at it. I think I might die to this boss, but if I do, it's just because I wasn't on board at first. It hasn't been using its laser for a minute. I think this is about the time where, like, most people would get frustrated with it. Oh. Man, he got annihilated. Let me take another sip of my tea. Game over, huh? During a combo, when the main character's body lights up, you have the chance to execute a just attack. Like a justice attack? Is that what that means? Because if that's how we did the uppercut, I'll be paying that mind in the future. Do we start? Okay, we start at the beginning of the second level. That's not so bad. I kind of wanted to redo this one anyway, with the new knowledge I gained. See if we can't get 3 of these guys together again. There we go. Yeah, yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Now I'm getting in the groove of things. It was probably a good idea to redo this level. See, that's why I think trial and error and failure states are beneficial, is because you learn more about the game through failure. In general, you learn through failure. So that's the shop that we see later. That's kind of cute. Yeah, failure is an incredible way to learn. I feel like now I have a much greater appreciation of the game mechanics than I could have previously. Also jumping less, which is probably because I understand the reach of my combo more, so I feel more confident approaching without jumping. Guys, get down here. I want to see if I can get you up in this. Both of you, come here. It seems like they're keeping their spacing deliberately, which is, again, very beat-em-up-like. Like, I'm not going to say this is Streets of Rage or anything, but the way the enemies bob and weave out of your reach, definitely also retro. I kind of like that. I especially enjoy that in Streets of Rage. It felt like such an integral part of the experience. We have so much more money than last time. I really feel like I've stepped up my game. Maybe we'll be able to afford that freaky mask in no time. But not before I get that double jump. So what's your deal? I like the stuffed monkey, assuming it's a stuffed monkey. Let me take a sip of my tea. It's a very, very pleasant horror-themed video game. Something that I've noticed about horror in general is that it seems to have a lot of cross-pollination with fantasy. Like, in general, spirits and curses and the awakening of dark magic and poetic justice wrought by by nature's bounty, or like maybe you upset the wrong god, or you overstepped your boundaries and drilled in the wrong neighborhood. Very in tune with like this sort of spiritual resonance of fantasy, where they try to communicate some sense of violating what's natural and right as an antagonistic force. Yeah, I think I'm getting the hang of it much better now. See, even in a game this relatively simple, where there's very few mechanics, you can still get a pretty great sense of flow. I haven't done any of the just attacks yet, though. Maybe it would be optimal to wait and see where the burgers land and then punch without jumping. Like, maybe jumping is what was messing me up last time. Oh, more? Okay. Quite a lot of you guys. Alright, let me see if I can... let me see if I can... Nope. I mean, if I don't get hit, it's not a problem, right? It's only a it's only a problem if that happens. I might just be having issue with the depth perception. Like in strictly, there we go. In strictly 2.5D beat 'em ups, I can just determine what plane I'm on relative to the enemies. But it doesn't quite work that way here. I have to pay explicit mind to the shadows, so it's a very different sort of challenge. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. There we go. As with all things, I'll get better with practice. I even dodged that in time. Would you eat a place called Candy Burger? Does that sound particularly delectable to you? It does remind me that there's one place I ate at here, a very local place, so I won't say the name, that, where the food reminded me of candy, like a sort of meat candy. And it was the first time I felt that sensation. That was back when I did eat meat. But something that's sort of embarrassing is that Smash Burger, right? They advertise that they have meat candy, but like the way they describe it is just how you cook normal burgers. They're like heat plus meat equals meat candy, I think is what their bags say, which is just weird and embarrassing. Like, no, that's just regular meat. I hope you're enjoying my my review of the marketing strategies of burger joints. Yeah, the perspective was really rough for me there, but I'm sure it's something I get used to with time. I mean, it's not like we chose to come here. It just sort of happened that way. This does strike me as the sort of game where you're supposed to save for the death mask, because the death mask helps you get the true ending, so you're not supposed to buy the upgrades. You're just supposed to play without upgrades, but save for the death mask. That's the impression I get. Because that's a very retro beat 'em up thing to... Oh, I didn't even see you guys. You blend in really well. That's a very retro beat 'em up thing to do as well. And you remember to use the chainsaws more, like right here. You know, for standard enemies, these guys are reasonably formidable, right? Oh, factory level. I wasn't even thinking about it, but this is traditionally where you get steam pipes and all kinds of other environmental hazards. Like, if there's any place to put that stuff, it's the factory level. Or the laboratory. I don't assume there's going to be a laboratory stage, considering we're all about that dark magic and stuff. But, you know, there's some crossover. Like, there are alchemy labs. That could be something we look at. Ah, cute. You got your little Friday the 13th get up. I would love to go. I don't know how, though. Oh. See, the arrow was pointing to the right. So I was very confused. I'm going to try to avoid getting caught in the press. Just in general, that seems like a good thing to aspire to in life. Alright, let's see. Gotta get it to... There we go. Very simple puzzle. It's quite pleasant, though. Like, you gotta put yourself in harm's way to proceed. It doesn't come down that fast, either. Getting real Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle vibes again with these environmental hazards. I don't understand how the press hurts me when I jump into it. That's a little alien to me. Like, I don't think that should be the case. Maybe it's really hot press or something. Really, really hot press. I can definitely hit the enemies with it, though. Oh. Yeah, I figure that's a section I would also get better at with practice. I'd probably figure out how to, Are you flying? I'd probably figure out how to manipulate it for optimal enemy smiting. I do love in video games when you can, when you can use the environment to hurt the enemies as well. Something that happens in Kirby, too. Though in Kirby, it's less a big deal because the enemies aren't really a threat in Kirby. Like, that's one of the last games where you would interpret the enemies as a threat, I think. It appears these guys are only vulnerable when they're about to strike. Yeah, I can't hit them from behind either. Yeah, it's just when they're about to strike. I haven't done a just attack again. I'm still not sure I understand how it's done. Hello. Come down here, please. Oh, I can do a head bash? How did I do that? Press down at the same time? Seems like it. So there's directional moves. What if I press up? Does that do anything? No. Yes? Pressing down does that. Sorry, I'm just experimenting, buddy. I don't mean to be rude. Figuring out what moves I've got. I think you understand. I want to be in best shape for you. Get all that goodies. I do get the impression that I don't want those snail eyeball monstrosities to actually be capable of attacking. Ooh, missiles. Do they just keep going indefinitely? No, okay. Or maybe they crashed into the wall because I juked them, I'm not sure. I meant floor, not wall. The floor is a kind of wall when you think about it. Very, very retro beat 'em up this bit right here, where you have to fight enemies in between steam vents. Sometimes it's pits of lava, sometimes it's coursing electricity, sometimes it's raining boulders, steam vents this time. Of course, because we're in a factory. In Final Fight, it's much more brutal than this, though. That time they did want me to go to the right. Alright, let's see what your deal is after I take a sip of my tea. You look fun. Do I... Oh, sorry. I don't actually know what I'm doing. I assumed that was good, that it was good to hit you. Would I just do that? It seems like there's a lot of ways to deal damage to you, but I don't want to, like, push my luck. Like, it seems like any regular roll attack will do. You, like, move to the other... Oh, yep. That was quite funny, actually. The noise you made, the whole experience was quite enjoyable. It's a much more normal boss fight. Oh, okay. You're just getting out of the way, I see. I wonder if knocking him in the air is meant to symbolize... Oh, goodness. Well, I didn't think you were going to pull this out on me. I wonder if knocking him in the air is meant to, like, symbolize a vulnerability or anything like that. What you got next? That's the one thing I wasn't prepared for, you see. Comically enough, your simplest to evade move will always be the most terrifying to me. When is the giant gear going to ram me? Who can say? Yeah, you know, I thought you were pretty underwhelming at first, buddy, but you're actually quite pleasant to fight. I apologize for doubting your strength. Are you doing this again? Okay. Oh, I didn't know you could follow up immediately like that. Alright, let's see if I can survive this. Oh. You and me, gear buddy. We gotcha. Stage 3 annihilated. I do wonder if there's some kind of follow-up attack you can do. And I still haven't done a just attack since the very beginning. Is this a block mechanic? Triangle, you can parry enemy attacks. You can place it one time for yourself when you die. The intro was pretty well written, like clearly by someone who cared a lot about the translation, but the rest of the text not as much. I guess it's not as important, though. Some kind of terrifying mushroom abomination situation. Requiem Forest. Are we still in the town? I can buy that the factory was part of the town, but is this forest also legally part of the town? I guess so. Maybe this is where they get all their crop from. Hey, it's been a while since I've seen you guys. You still do the same thing. I've actually accidentally made a much more difficult enemy for myself. By knocking you on top of that, You're adorable. Adorable and awfully threatening. I'll be sure to take you out first. You are a projectile enemy, and you are definitely a priority. What's up here? Hey, did you guys see this up here? I didn't know this was up here. That's kind of cool. I bet it's for something, though. Like, I bet there's some secret up here or something. Seems to be introducing new enemy types in a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Not satisfactory, what is it? Like, sufficient is a word I would use to describe it. Swift fashion. It's making the most out of what I assume is a very small runtime to introduce a ton of new interesting enemy types and unique hazards and biomes. I do appreciate the traditional annoying bat enemy characters. Like, they always look like bats, to be fair, but these ones are extra bat. I would assume that there's a way to do this in an easier fashion. What's in here? Oh, hello, everyone. I'm glad we could all make it. I didn't know we were having a Mad Monster Party. Like the hit Rankin Bass film, Mad Monster Party. What's this? Can I push this down? Like if I slam on it? I'm getting the impression that there are just like an absolute ton of secrets that I'm totally missing. Like just a huge amount of secrets. Or maybe the elevation was just for funsies back there. Maybe it didn't lead to a secret or anything, but, you know, you can't be sure with a game like this. The mushrooms seem to be able to survive my chainsaw onslaught. They are a roly-poly sort, so I suppose that's only fair. Hello. Are we going to be platforming today? Seems that way, doesn't it? Let's see if I get... Oh. I need to keep in the practice of looking at the platforming shadows and not the character. Trying to determine where the shadow is in relation to where I want to be. Which is harder than it may sound. I wonder what's up there. I have to find out, even if it kills me. That's how this works. I am very curious. Oh, it's a heart. Well, I kind of needed that, so... Oh, hello. I remember you being bad news. Not as bad news as me getting hit by all these spores, though. Full health refill. Another full health refill. I don't know what I need to for. Boss time already. Alright. Take a sip. What's your deal? Besides being terrifying, of course. Sorry. I didn't mean to question your terrifying nature. Can I just tank you? We're doing an experiment right now. We're doing just a fun little experiment to see if I can tank you. Just a quick little game to see if I need to do anything. I do not. I'm sorry. I know that's probably very disappointing, Mushroom Monster. It seemed like you had cool patterns and whatnot. It's just you seemed like a very tankable style of enemy. It really does seem like you can negate a lot of the game's challenge with the life ups. So that does further validate my assumption that you're supposed to play through it without the life ups and save for the mask. Hey, Western style horror, like Wild West style horror, kind of underused. It's cool to see that. Does it say Mau Mau Milk or Mew Mew Milk? I do love the way that the music cuts, like, dead when it's chainsaw time. It makes the chainsaw feel so visceral, like you're slicing through the audio itself, because it's splatter time. That was definitely splatter time also. Entering and exiting the chainsaw state seems like a really good way to clear out crowds of enemies, because it's an AoE. Hello, everyone. Goodbye, everyone. Yeah, like that. It just cleared them all out real quick. Still haven't found a sufficiently efficient way to deal with the bat creatures. It definitely does seem like it's something I could be doing a lot better. I'm sure there's a lot of mechanics I'm not privy to. Like, I don't understand the glowing thing I was doing that apparently let me perform a just attack. Music's a bit more excitable than in previous, I think I got them all? Yeah. Music's a bit more excitable than in previous levels, for sure. Man, I'm just a force of destruction. I feel like maybe you could still get the upgrades and get the mask with the speed at which I'm, hello there. Hello. This is very unsettling noise. It's kind of distracting. I'm sorry for the great deal of pain you seem to be in. I'm gonna, man, it's hard to focus. I'm gonna do my best to get out of your hair. Alright? I'm gonna do my best to, I'm gonna leave you alone. Maybe that was something to do with the true ending. Maybe I needed to save that abomination or some such. That was perhaps the most entertaining thing in the game so far. Very effectively unsettling and disarming. Like in the actual sense of disarming, that I became less effective as an opponent because of that thing, which is still shooting like goo at me from all the way over there. It seems to be just like a constant now, but at least the sound stopped. The bats seem to get stuck in the corner sometimes. I wonder if you need the death mask before this point, or like how it works exactly. What are the shimmering shards of glass supposed to communicate? Are they bad? Okay, I think they just hurt me. That makes sense. I wouldn't want to step on those. I can't really tell if the Friday the 13th cosplay enemies are actually different to any meaningful degree. I am glad I figured out that head bash move, which seems to Seems to work as a way to crowd control, like move enemies into a more desirable position. I'm less glad that I'm fighting more of the bad enemies, but you gotta deal with them somehow. Like, you don't want these things sticking around your yard. Your train yard, I mean. If you get what I'm saying. Okay, just you guys left. I am not ready for you, Mr. Boss Fight. Absolutely terrifying. Also, you go straight to the underworld, huh? Yeah, I'm not surviving this fight, I don't think. I'm gonna give it my best shot, obviously. Alright, what's this? Oh, okay. Enemies. And hot coal. Listen, if all I have to do is stand in the corner and repeatedly do this, I will stand in the corner and repeatedly do this. You think I won't? You think I haven't played beat-em-ups before? You think I don't know how to cheese? You think cheesing is new to me? You think this is the first time I've gotten to a boss fight with very little health and had to, for my life, immediately concoct a winning strategy out of nothing? Because I guess it's working. This is what they mean by work smarter, not harder, by the way. Like, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. This is exactly what that saying means. I'm actually really tensed right now. Like, I know it may look like I'm having a ball, making a mockery of this game design, but at any second, exactly that could happen. Exactly that. So, you know. Let me take another sip of my tea. See, this is what I'm talking about with the secrets. There's a green gem with prodigious power somewhere. I've got a couple sips of my tea left. We're gonna see if I can beat this level. And then after that, I think I'm gonna call it quits. I know there's only one level left. But I don't like to stay talking and stare at a screen for too long. That's what the tea is for. Sort of a timer. It's also very nice tea, though. That last room with the glass really messed me up. I have to be more careful about that. Cheesing the boss like that was going really well, but I panicked and started walking on the ground because my fingers weren't listening to the inputs. And I think that brief second I was on the ground is what led to me dying. Because they were sending a lot at me. There was hot coal flying through the air. A ton of wheel enemies, the regular bat foes. You know? They were pulling out all the stops. Let me see if I can... Yeah, there we go. I enjoy being able to get the bat enemies out of the way immediately like that. I maybe should have bought the gas tank upgrade as well. I'm using a lot of gas, but... Oh. I fell. I'm using a lot of gas, but it's probably worth it, because the fewer bat enemies I fight, not only the less time am I fighting the bad enemies, but the less likely I am to die to them. This is quite a pleasant game. It's time for this again. Remember this. I remember this. Let's see if I can, I got one of them. Let's see if I can... It's really hard to focus. Like, it's crazy hard to focus. That might have gone worse than last time, really. Hello, everyone. Let me know if you see any just attacks anywhere, because I'm still trying to figure out how those work. I did them once at the very start of the game, and then never again. Oh, man. Does the glass only... Is this the area with the glass, or is that another place? I'm trying to remember. Alright, let me see if I can... Yeah, they really stepped up their game with the environmental hazards in this level. And the enemies are coming in much larger waves. Which I suppose is fair, this is the end game. Okay, no, here's the glass section. See if I can utilize the some of that cheese from the boss fight here. Work it into my maneuverability and general moveset. Causes a huge shock wave, so it's probably actually really beneficial to spam it. Because, especially with these charging enemies, it seems like they'll run eagerly into it. Let me just... Oh boy. I think I might actually be in worse shape than last time. Music's cheering me on, though. The music's excited for this. The music believes in me, even if I don't. Okay. It's boss time. Hey, buddy. Make the elephant noise. The green gem, the death mask. Maybe both are necessary. I wouldn't know. It seems like there's very little that this guy or any of his enemy friends can do to me while I'm in the air. So I'm gonna keep at this. Oh, I got in his way. I don't think I'm gonna survive this round either. If this is anything like that time I played Golden Axe 2, the second I stop live commentating over it, I'm gonna be able to conquer it fairly well. That's just how it works. People don't talk about it often, but it is the case that you've got to split your focus a lot when you're making live commentary for something. And that split focus affects performance. That's also why people don't pay attention to things that seem obvious to you while they're playing. Because they just literally don't have the mind to. They don't have the capacity. It's not because they're, like, actively awful at video games usually. So that's, you know, let's not pretend that's not a possibility. Alright, we made it. Cheese saves the day again. Alright, I still have one sip of tea left. Let's just make it the rest of the way through and see how it goes. Like, if I, oh, this probably isn't the final level. Well, in that case, if this isn't the final level, I think we're going to call it here. Because I anticipated this being the last level, but, you know, like I said, I don't like doing staring at a single screen and talking for an excessively long period of time. I need to go get fresh air, I need to exercise in general. New springy enemies, though. So I think that's it for Splattermaster. I'm very impressed by it. like old beat 'em ups in pretty much every way that matters. It has a very simple set of core mechanics, but it expands on those mechanics by introducing new enemy types and thoughtful boss designs. And yeah, like as you saw, you can definitely cheese the bosses. I'm not going to lie about that, but you know, you have to put some thought into cheesing them. It's not like the final boss of Final Fight 2 where you just jump kick at him. But yeah, I suppose that's Splatter Master.